This month, we will be using a different opening hymn in honor of Women's History Month. Please join us for our opening hymn, May This Light Shine. May this light shine clear and bright, and our lives with love unite. May we search for truth and understanding, as together we worship and sing. May this light shine clear and bright, and our lives with love unite. May we search for truth and understanding, as together we worship and sing.
Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Portland, where our mission is to nurture the individual spirit and to build the beloved community. We're so glad you are with us this morning for our family worship service. Thank you for joining us. And every Sunday we light a chalice. And this morning our chalice will be lit by the Boydstein family. If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light it now.
We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love.
Feminist and abolitionist Louisa May Alcott, one of our Unitarian Universalist ancestors, said, "I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship." Come, let us worship together. Last Sunday, we introduced our new spiritual theme for the month, intention. Nicole showed us a sugar snap pea plant, a young seedling just beginning to grow. Intention is like the seeds we plant. Seeds need water, good soil, and sunlight to grow. Eventually, they may flower or bear fruit. There is an intention in that seed and by the person who may have planted it. The goals and plans we make, the ways we've decided to treat others, or the problems we work to solve, these are all intentions. And sometimes intentions are interrupted, and we learn to shift and adapt. Perhaps a new building goes up near our seedling and blocks some of the light. Now what? On the first Sunday of March last year, we met in person as a learning community. We were in our classrooms with our beloved teachers, close to one another, learning, singing, creating together. When we said goodbye that morning, we didn't know that that would be the last time we'd meet together in person for a long, long time. By the second Sunday in March, we were staying home. We started watching church on a screen at home. That was exactly 1 year ago. For those who went to school in person, no more. Distance learning began. So many things we like to do, many of the people we love to see, could not happen, at least not in person. So many plans undone. Quickly, everyone was using video to connect with one another, even toddlers and grandparents. During this time of the pandemic, many have suffered. People have gotten very sick. Many have died. People have lost jobs, perhaps their homes. And in addition to the virus, we've experienced wildfires with toxic air and prolonged power outages. Black lives continue to be taken by the very institution that should protect them. Sacred indigenous lands have been desecrated by the construction of a border wall, and so on. But there have also been moments of hope and encouragement. Neighbors helping neighbors, sharing of our abundance, the uprising for justice for Black lives. Hopes renewed by the new leadership of our country. A vaccination against the virus. And so a year later, here we are. Earlier this month, we reached out to members of the learning community of all ages, children and adults. We asked some questions about what the last year has been like. What has it been like for you? I'd like to offer a reading for you now. This is a compilation of the written responses that we received. In the last year, we have been reminded of the many strengths we have: patience, tenacity, resilience, our sense of humor and laughter, the ability to change and to support and cheer the people around us. We've checked our assumptions about ourselves. It's okay to lower our expectations during a pandemic. And love, perhaps our greatest strength of all. We took care of ourselves. It's okay to not feel guilty about not doing as much or as well as before. We kept up with homework when we could. We learned new things, bonded with others in online improv classes, worked jigsaw puzzles, and put our jammies away. We ate, slept, and made time to get outside, exercise, and take walks in nature. We maintained our structure when we could, but we took time for breaks, reading in a hot bath, and for connecting with friends and family. In the last year, we learned to appreciate our families and the connections we have made with our extended communities. We learned to appreciate the effort it takes to be authentically available to ourselves, our children, and partners. And the resiliency of people when encountering difficult times, and the many gestures of kindness we saw in the world, which helped balance some of the cruelty. We appreciate the hard work of hospitals and firefighters. It was hard work to get shots at Mom's school. And we've learned to appreciate the little things, the campfire pit outside in the yard, Zoom. And during this last year, we've really learned to appreciate breathing. We've had some unexpected opportunities. Many of us have learned how to be patient. We've figured out how to connect in a human way while using machines to do it. We've been able to see our grandchildren's school online. We had time to join new clubs at school. We've adopted dogs, even raising a puppy to become a service dog. We have gotten to know our families better. Our children are much more resilient than we knew. This past year has called on us to show kindness. We have prepared food, made lunches for houseless people, given cookies and baked goods to family and friends. We checked in regularly with a friend in New Mexico and gave hugs to Dad. We donated money to local direct relief efforts, and we put up positive resiliency messages around the house. We have also experienced kindness from others. They sent us mail, brought us coffee, and left flowers on our porch anonymously. They created daily online dance meetings. Neighbors brought us chocolate and exchanged phone numbers. We were thanked for posting our poetry online. An employer paid for backup childcare, and grandparents helped us catch up with our homework. We are worried. How much longer will this go on? How many businesses and lives will fall apart? Is the pandemic never ending? We worry our social fabric may be frayed, worry about friendships, our kids and grandkids, children unable to see friends at school in person, worried about not doing a daily login. We worry about our families getting sick and about getting vaccines for all. Will Dad get a shot? When can we get back to church? But we are also hopeful. We have a vaccine and people are getting vaccinated. People in Portland are respecting science and each other by wearing masks. We have a new president and vice president. What brings us hope? Our families, our dogs, seeing our friends, reimagining a post-COVID society, the crocus growing in the yard, and the way they come back every year with constancy and hope. We'd like to express our gratitude and solidarity to all of you who submitted your responses to help create this group reflection. In closing, we share a video montage from interviews with members of our learning community, youth, parents, and volunteers as they reflect on the past year. Thank you for your thoughtfulness, honesty, and courage.
I miss hugs. Hugs are a loss for me because I'm a hug person.
I learned a lot about control over things that I have control over and things I don't. Like,
I do think about how I've had to do my job. I'm a teacher and I've had to completely reshape how I do everything.
We lost my great grandma, which was, I didn't know her personally very well. So it wasn't particularly sad for me, but it was really sad for my dad and my grandma.
I've seen people be kinder and give each other more of the benefit of the doubt.
Not have every single minute packed with activity.
I feel like I've been able to get to know my children in a different way.
Feel secure in having housing and food and all of those necessities when so many people's lives are in so much turmoil for reasons that they have absolutely no control over.
Because my life that I've lived up until now, I didn't realize how many layers of different privileges that I'd either taken for granted or maybe appreciated, but not in the way that, I should have. Like
appreciating all the different areas in my house and knowing that that's not available to a lot of people.
For all of the possibility that we can create a better society because of everything that we've seen through this pandemic, there's also the possibility that we'll just do nothing.
But we're suffering the trauma as a world, each in our own way. And I hope we don't forget that. We don't have to hold on to it, but this isn't something that should be swept under the rug. So yeah, maybe it's that fear of just going back to normal, but like we really need to be gentle with ourselves. This is not a normal time. This is extreme amounts of stress. So we need to be kind to ourselves.
I see growth in individuals and I see people working to strengthen their bonds with each other, whether it's good friends or neighbors, and that gives me some hope.
I hope that some of the ways that we've been together and giving each other grace and helping each other can carry on into beyond this time.
And the longer that we've been in COVID, I think I see more people getting excited about small things like, wow, there's a really great sunset tonight. And I hope we don't lose that.
That this has done a really good job of showing us all of the many problems that we have in our society and all of the ways that we need to rebuild. And hopefully we can do that. We can learn from the mistakes that this pandemic has made very evident, and we can come out of it better, and build stronger infrastructure and legislation that's oriented around social justice and all of the things that we need in our society.
This last year has been really challenging for most of us. In spite of it being a really difficult year, some of us may have found that we were better at some things than we thought. And in spite of the challenges we faced, we found an inner strength. And this song is all about that strength. Lost touch with my soul. I had nowhere to turn, I had nowhere to go. Lost sight of my dream, thought it would be the end of me. I thought I'd never make it through. I had no hope to hold on to. I thought I would break. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down and I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my own strength, survived my darkest hour. My faith kept me alive. I picked myself back up, held my head up high. I was not built to break. I didn't know my own strength. Found hope in my heart. Found a light to life, my way out of the dark. Found all that I need here inside of me. I thought I'd never find my way. I thought I'd never lift that weight, and I thought I would break. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down and I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my own strength, survived my darkest hour. My faith kept me alive. I picked myself back up and held my head up high. I was not built to break. I didn't know my own strength. There were so many times I wondered how I'd get through the night. I thought I took all that I could take. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down and I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my own strength, survived my darkest hour. My faith kept me alive. I picked myself back up and I held my head up high. I was not built to break. I didn't know my own strength. I was not built to break. I didn't know my own strength.
In my neighborhood, there's a tree that's around 100 years old. It's been growing for so long that from the ground looking up, I can't even see the top. And during this last year, I've paid closer attention to trees. Because to survive nearly 100 years on this particular patch of land means that trees have endured who knows how many ice storms, snowstorms, windstorms, fires, at least a few earthquakes, and even a volcano erupting. All of these moments when maybe the roots of the trees thought that the earth was caving in, or some branches made it through an ice storm, while other branches right next to them did not. We invite you to join us for a moment of reflection on both the losses you've had over the last year and also the strengths that you didn't know you had. If you would like to close your eyes to visualize your own image of strength, you're welcome to do so. The image that we'll offer is that nearly 100-year-old tree with its own sign of losses through the years, and also its strength that carries it through.
Family therapist Virginia Satir said, "Life is not the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it is. The way you cope with it is what makes the difference." Along with our losses, fears, frustration, and tears this past year, there have been unexpected gifts, learning and growth, newly discovered strengths, and an uprising of love. This is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace. Practice love. Amen.
Please join us in our closing hymn, As You Go. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life,